Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the punctual indefinite, or when a time is not specified. So, this this specific aspect is definitely not. It doesn't act on its own. You usually have a verb that goes before it. Something that caused it to happen. So generally, you'll have in the first position of a clause using this, you would generally have something like "I want to," right? If you're saying "I want to," that's not even going to be a punctual sentence. That's going to be a perfective sentence, that's a different aspect we're going to talk about in this verb series later on after the serial. But this one, "I want to get" or "I want to do," this this is the one type of clause, right, that you can use it for, right? So it's like blah 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 to blah blah blah. I assume it's like "I eat to live," right? And that would be, you eat to live. And these double verbs, that would be great because the second one, acts as an infinitive in those cases. But it may be, it may be an infinitive, but it's also um, can function as an infinitive in sentences with multiple verbs. If it is not the chief or the first verb. Okay, so that's what I just realized. Cause it's like "I want to get walk yeah walk weki weki ara, which is this basic structure here, ara for me to get, followed by the punctual. So wakanethweki arako, this is from Midun on page 89. This ara, and sometimes this ara can sometimes this ara can shorten down into r with a w, with a w sound. And so that's where this gets a little bit complicated. But this functions essentially as like a second verb, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like "I want to get." To get doesn't have a specific function, because it doesn't have like a tense or aspect. Like there's no specific tense. Like it's just "to get." Like I said, it functions essentially as a to do, to eat, to be. Like it's just the basic form of the verb. So that's what that does here. And another form of this is like "would," right? So something would be like "I would do it," right? you know you would eat it. And this type of thing, by itself, I didn't see I didn't see any examples of this by itself. What I saw was he promised that it would rain eventually. This is the example that another example that Mattoon gives in her grammar on this subject. All we know is that this would is that the first verb has the punctual past applied to it, because he promised. That's got nothing to do with the verb that this is being applied to. That's why this is a little bit more complicated to understand, because you're not going to use this by itself most of the time, because there's no, like, as I said, as I may have said, I may have said it in a former another shoot of this video, but the the first clause doesn't apply to this. So because the first clause indicates that something happened, like it happened at a certain time. It actually did happen, which means it happened in the past. Happened in the past. Or, if you want to get something that's like a fleeting thought, it's a fleeting emotion. So emotions are usually adjectives, which work with the perfective aspect, which we haven't covered yet in this series. So as I'm saying, this could possibly work by itself, but this does kind of act like it translates pretty well as like for me to blah blah blah, for whoever to blah blah blah, right? So for you to go, and then you would put ara in front of your subject pronoun. And if it's not a human, if there's no human involved, like the action, like you're talking about weather, or maybe an animal animal or plant, then you might, or just an object, an inanimate object, you can use this. It would be auto. This would be usually it's ara. I've seen ara and I've seen ottawa, because there's only 2 examples of this. So, but if we were to say, I would, like if you could say would indicates that it's something indefinite, like you don't know. Would means that, yeah, you would do it, but you're talking about an unspecified hypothetical time. And that's why I say you can use this as a hypothetical, right? This could work for hypotheticals. If someone promised or told you, he said this was going to happen, promised or told you something, then you could you could use this. And I'm assuming you can use reported speech, like they said that this hypothetical event was going to happen eventually, and you don't know when it will. But like I think another good example is like if people say God will judge you, like you can say that as like a definite, yes, it's going to happen. But I can also see something like that where people are going to wait and see. They want to wait and see if it's going to happen. It could happen. It eventually will happen, but you have no idea when. That could work. That could work for something like this. But this is an interesting thing. It's got a subjunctive. It's got a subjunctive function. In the would, not that I wish that blah blah, but you can use this, like you could say I wish that auto whatever, I wish that this would happen. Would, could happen, and we have a different one for should, right? You wish that, you don't know if it will, you're just imagining it in your mind, but you're putting it out there, So this is an interesting one, we can do some things with that. We could practice this a little bit if we want to. Because if someone says he promised that it would rain, you could say Ottawa, you could say Ottawa told, or you could say Uwa told, and Uwa told would mean it will rain, because it can be theoretical. So there is that, and So I'm trying to think of some examples here. So we have let's say I said he would count. Okay, so I said so wakire. Hold on, wakire. Pretty sure wakire is Give me 1 minute to look up something in the library here. Because I'm pretty sure that's in the first lesson. It's like wakire. Oh, wasire. Well, that's you. You said. Oh, there we go. Yeah, wakire. Well, yeah. That's the grammar guide. Okay, wakira. Okay, so you could say like wakira. Wakira. I said that. What did I say? I said that he would count. Okay, I said that he would count. So, ara. So you could say arahra or arhwa. You could say arhwa, arhwarat, arhwarat. I said that he would count. I said that he would count. So I didn't tell you when he was going to count. I just said he would count. Right. Wakire arhwarat. Sorry. Arhwarat. And then another one we could say, let's say do you want let's say do you want do you want to eat this? Okay, so we would say let's do wasa wasaneth weki. Okay, so wasaneth wasaneth weki. Aneth weki. Okay, so what do you want? And then atsori. Say, do you want to eat? You can say ara atsori. Ara atsori. Ara atsori. And you need to put the person, and actually, hold on, do you need to do that? Yes, you absolutely do. Yes. So, ara. Say. Arsatori. Arsa. Arasa. Arasatori. Yeah, you could say. Yeah. Wahsa onethweki. Arahasat. Yeah, arahasatsori. Arahasatsori. No, you could say arathasori. Arthasori. Arathatsori. It says, do you want to eat? And if you want to add this, then you can put can, which is just can is really just I hold something. Can. I'm pretty sure it's Kiana. So do you want to eat this? So, wasa anathweki kiana. Ara, arafa, yeah. Arafatsori. Do you want to eat this? So we can do that. And I would even say, like, do you think it will? See, I think in the it would rain. You could say, like, do you think it will rain tomorrow? But then again, in that case, you would be able to say, do you think, which is dang it, I just used this like last week. Okay, I can't think of the word for would think, but you could say, like, do you think? But that in that case, you could say, like, do you think it would? You could, if you're using a would, then there's no time, and then in that case you can use this. But if you say, like, do you think it will, then if you know it's going to happen immediately or at a specific time, then you would just use the will, the plus the punctual. So hopefully that makes sense with the explanations and the examples down here. Hopefully this helped. If you need more examples or more help, just let me know in the comments. I have extra verbs you can use, and I've given you all the constructions, and you should know now how to do punctual past. So saying that you did something or you have done something at a specific time, you should be able to express that you will do something or that you're going to do something at a specific time. And these are not for ongoing repetitive actions. These are only for things that happen one time and they're done. A single one-time event of limited duration. Okay. And if you're an individual or an organization looking for language coaching or language lessons, definitely let me know. You can see all my services on linkshack.club/services, where you can find more information about what I offer. And I offer course creation, development, all kinds of things, grammar, and I can even learn a language for you, or if you're an individual looking to go on vacation. I've prepared and learned several different languages before traveling to places, so I have experience with learning languages for tourism or for living, because I've also done that as well. Learning languages like Creoles and things. I mean, like languages that are kind of hard to find stuff in, and I can help somebody speak a language quick if you need that kind of instruction. That kind of instruction can be done with the Michel Thomas Pimsleur style approach. So if you need any kind of language service or instruction, coaching, or anything like that, I offer at a very affordable rate. So definitely get in contact with me if that is something that you are looking for, because this is something I absolutely love doing and enjoy doing. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next part, which is going to be about serial verbs, ongoing and repetitive actions in Tuscarora. Thank you.